Okay. So we're in year 2 going into March. My scouts are worthless. I really don't understand their point. They'll recommend guys to me that say they don't fit my style. They come back after 3 months, they got nothing for me. I can find my own guys easy enough in the free agent market. So if you're using real wrestlers in the game, like I was able to do, and again, thanks to the incredible depth of wrestlers made available on the workshop on Steam. And as much as it was fun to play Fire Pro on my PlayStation 4, my big TV, not being able to play with mods and not being able to do a lot of the things that the Steam version allows you to do, just that, as almost any game allows you to do better on a desktop computer setting versus a console. As much as it was fun on the PS4, being able to do it, utilize all the different options here on the Steam version, has led to that being my primary go-to as far as which version I play. So for year 2, going to March, assets, and I'll go through and show the other companies as well. That'll give you an idea of how small this iteration of AEW is compared with the major players in the market. Well, that was after the end of year 1. Here we go. Notice for like under the details, wrestlers 14 of 16, and that's where the gym size comes into play. I can sign 2 more wrestlers and then no more until I spend, I think it's $150,000 to expand the gym. Essentially, it keeps you from trying to just spam the system, sign in a bunch of guys, getting real big real quickly. The game seems to value having you utilize as many of your championship title belts as possible. But I find the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship to be superfluous. Try to use a big word, tongue tied, superfluous in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like the never open-weight 6-man Tag Team Championship. Nevertheless, that's something that this game seems to value, so try to keep that in mind. You'll notice the relationship mostly indifferent for other companies. I did work a trade with Aero Lucha. Let them have Gran Guerrero for 1 month. He was a little bit banged up when I sent him over there, so I'm curious what his health condition's going to be now that he's returned. All Japan really more strong than stoic, but I mean, it was a minor miracle for me to pull this together to get the 9 companies in there the way I wanted. Just had to go through and, I think I mentioned this before, rename menu headers as far as for different companies and to create a wrestler. So All Japan's this mix of 1990s era guys like Misawa, Kobashi, Kawada, Taue, and then newer guys like the Bodyguard or Kento Miyahara. But then they had a limit as far as not having that many roster spots available compared with, say, CMLL. I mean, I was trying to just follow the slotting the way that the game default had it when I set this up initially, trying to keep as true to that as possible. And again, more just giving this a trial run to see how everything works out. It was funny. I went to the first Aero Lucha show ever. They had it here in Nashville. And Nashville is not necessarily a hotbed for Lucha Libre, but they ended up packing the place down at the Fairground Sports Arena. Its days are numbered. Which is sad to me in a way because I, as a kid, went to see USWA shows there on Saturday night. Kind of a rough crowd at times. Definitely the dying days of the Memphis promotion. But nevertheless, some memorable moments that stick out many years later. On the positive side, Nashville SC, the soccer club that I actually did some play-by-play for 2 years ago. They've got a bid to MLS, and to get that they needed a stadium, and the Nashville City Council approved it, so putting the new stadium in at the Fairgrounds location. Downside, though, is that the Fairgrounds Sports Arena has to go. But Nashville has changed a lot. It's grown tremendously. It's almost becoming like I remember Atlanta being about 20 years ago traffic-wise. But besides that, a wonderful place to be, and certainly more than ever a wide variety of people and ideas and options. From Aerolution to the New Japan show I went to last month in Nashville. For once, I didn't have to fly out to go to a New Japan show. And there's UWFI, which is an old work-shoot promotion from Japan from the mid-90s that had some kind of crazy matches, especially looking back on it in hindsight. So that's what I end up having as my 9 companies. But when you look at the assets, even these smaller companies, close to $750,000, almost $800,000 for UWFI. For me, $657,000. WWE, $102 million. So, as you can tell, there's a bit of a disparity there. It's a slow and steady wins the rates approach, I suppose. All right. I haven't tried to poach anybody from a company. So there are plenty of free agents out there, and you only get 1 crack per month at it. Tried with him, and he wasn't quite so accommodating. Hiroki Goto for a steal. Let's see if he's interested. Let's see. So, just to negotiate, 2,500 is shy of that, and then. Oh, okay, that was a one-time deal. I meant to actually sign someone off the market there. So I got Goto to use for 1 match. Human Resources has its own directory on here. That's what I was going for, is offer contract. Well, I guess I can't offer Goto a contract. I'm going to try out here first. How you doing? That'd be a nice pickup. We peak era Barry Windham any day. Let's see. I got some cash now. Let's see if we can get Wyndham. 30 grand? All right. That'll work. So again, you only get to make 1 contract offer per month. But I've got Goto coming in. And they say the more matches you book, the better as far as your card goes. At least that's my understanding of it. All right. Take care of these guys that were holding me up for money. Let's see. Consultation. If you're trying to find where to renegotiate with your talent, there it is. Let's see. Still a bargain to this price. I like the way that next to the asterisk is written there. This can totally change their level of trust. I'd hope he's satisfied with that raise. He's still working pretty cheap anyway. And he's a B ranking. The way the rankings go, it's 4 different countries. I'll show you here in a minute. This can totally change your level of trust. There we go. And the number of wrestlers per company can vary. They'll hire and fire. Again, with this, as much as anything, I'm trying to figure out going for perhaps a larger version of Fire Promoter with more companies. Best way to start them out, volume-wise, do they add more guys? Do they just kind of stay near that same level, or how it works? Right. Part of the reason I wanted to begin with, though, is to show you the 4 letters where a given wrestler may have, you know, BDDD, be popular relatively in America, not so much Japan, Latin America, meaning Mexico primarily, and Europe. The way this game, and you can book events in America, Japan, or Latin America, but not Europe apparently. Unless it's something you can unlock later, that might be the case. Try to save it fairly frequently. Paranoid the game's going to crash on me so they get an inopportune time. Why take a chance? They do make it very easy to save, for as much as this interface is not user-friendly. Let's book it. Nickel and dime you with these repairs. $6 for a medicine ball repair? Do I want to know what happened to the grappling dummy that needed a $45 repair? This DVD sold out. We'll stick with 1,000. Need to sign Toru Yano. Thought there would be a pitch man for my DVDs. Not all that much of a savings to go from 1,000 to 3,000. One tip, one good thing, if I learned anything from watching Stevie Richards and a couple of other people that had PlayStation 4 streams of their Fire Promoter going before it came out for Steam, it was that branded snacks can be a money loser. Notice in the description, they must be sold the month they're produced. I've opted to stay away from that, and I think rightly so. Here are the sponsor contracts I was talking about before. The Ico Pro, the Walmart knockoff, the Little Caesars mixed with the, what was that kids' book series that had those kind of drawings? Whatever the case, that's what they're going with there with the Little Caesars knockoff Prince Pepperoni. Condo renovators. You don't see many of them advertising on pro wrestling broadcast these days, and then a coin-operated parking lot nationwide. But hey, they don't have any conditions to be met, and they take 5% off the cost of renovation, so I'll take it. Testing. Okay, so I managed to make a mistake before. I hit the start recording button instead of start streaming. Didn't miss anything too important. And at least it's recorded. I guess I can upload it to my Twitch channel later. And that's why I'm doing this as a bit of an experiment first. Try and knock out the loose ends. Avoid some of those problems that come back to be a bigger issue with a more substantive company put together. All right, so in the interim, I was able to sign. Who did I sign? Yeah, okay, I signed Barry Windham, and then I brought in free agent Hiroki Goto. He's not even listed here, but he's coming in just for this show. So with Wyndham coming on board, I've got 15 of my 16 roster spots filled. I can fill one more before I have to expand the gym to be able to get additional wrestlers. And I've got Goto coming in for a one-shot. Let's go ahead and book the event, which I haven't started yet, so it worked out about as well as we hoped with the wrong button click I made there. All right. Jericho defense here. May just have him go against Barry Windham right out of the gate. So Windham and Jericho in the main event. A 1 hour time limit. Haven't seen a match go that long yet, but at some point enough's enough. There's no hard and fast rule on when you have to defend a championship. I guess I said there were 6 titles, but there's actually 5. So, junior heavyweight, even in New Japan Pro Wrestling, junior heavyweight being in its own separate tag division is a bit much. With only 15 wrestlers, I don't think so. And the equivalent of the never openweight 6-man tag team championship, I'll wait a bit longer on that as well, even though the game does seem to prefer you to use as many championships as you can. Let's see how these guys are doing before I start booking them. One thing to do is look at the condition. Good or normal, that's usually a sign you're good to go. Poor, I guess Gran Guerrero didn't get any healthier during his 1 month shipment over to Aero Lucha. So I won't do a tag title defense with Neville banged up. But I can do an Ambrose singles match. And a quick tip with, if you're having a championship match, you're better off going through and choosing from the main menu where it says configure title match, or just trying to put it in there yourself, because it'll wipe out what you got. Kind of render that moot. Cody and T-Hawk team up again. With Goldberg and Walter again. This will make a 45-minute time limit, opposed to 60. So let's see. I'll let Guerrero rest up. Zhao Yilong, not in the best condition. Neville's in poor condition, so I got That's right. Flyer a championship opportunity. This almost feels like USWA style booking when you have 5 match slots and not just a ton of guys to go around. can't use Gran Guerrero. He's hurt. Yoshihashi. Yilong's hurt. Shima. Just can't get the popularity going for Shima, unfortunately. And Neville or Pac in poor condition. I want to overlook Omega. Yeah, I'll do Ambrose versus Omega. There's an easy way to do this. There we go. Ambrose against Omega. And this is where I'll do the Cedric Alexander versus Flyer junior heavyweight title match. So I'm trying this out with audio to go with this. Got this headset ordered off of Amazon. Trying to get this thing configured. We'll give Goto a tryout here. Let me go against Yoshihashi. Again, this is something I tend to overlook or have overlooked initially a couple of times. This configure match styles and rules, going through and making sure you got the time limits I want for everything. It tends to remember the time limit that slot had on your last show. So if you forget, it doesn't go too crazy on you, but still, it's nice to have everything set up the way you want it. Go ahead and confirm the match card here. That locks us in. Oh, before I do that, I should probably look at the house. Something else to not overlook. So I can... That's not the direction I wanted to go. Be a smaller crowd than I had last month. Tickets are double the price. So I get a print ad. It'll cost me about $6,500 more, but it guarantees a full house. So go with that. And we're locked in. All right. Let's see what Goto has against Yoshihashi. say this, be careful on which edits you include in your Fire Promoter game, because once you start it, you're locked in with them. I've got a different Goto downloaded Create a Wrestler that has multiple outfits. I didn't pick that one. I was trying my best not to rush to get the thing started. Really benefit from going through and dealing with the hassle of setting things up very specifically out of the gate. Once it's set, it's locked in. Now, I don't know what happens if you try and delete any of this information. I have a bad feeling things get sideways pretty quick. There's so many things about this game I just don't know. Like, if you start companies out with more wrestlers to begin with, they naturally tend not to hold on to those higher volumes of wrestlers, or does it trend back down? I just don't know. It looks like they don't vary the logos from show to show as far as the mid-major supporters and then the primary sponsor. I get the feeling there are a lot of things with this game that are going to be just a matter of trial and error. And with this being a new game mode that's basically based on the old management of the, I think it was Management of the Rings, what it was called, whatever the Game Boy Advance version was that I never have played. So that might have some clues as far as how this functions as well. I just don't know. I'll have to see if I can bring La Sombra back next month. He was pretty good in his, basically a tryout match. But the danger is you bring somebody in that's good, they beat one of your top guys, and they don't come back. Kind of the opposite of how you want to book that typically. funny in real life New Japan. Hiroki Goto is one of those guys. He's been near the top of the card for a long time. He's 0-7 lifetime in IWGP Heavyweight Championship matches. He's got that rep at this point of not being able to win the big one. And then you got Yoshihashi. I don't know what his deal is. Like, I understand there are things from Japan that culturally I just can't understand necessarily as well as somebody native to Japan. I don't really get it with Yoshihashi at all. He's got a walking stick, and I don't know if he's supposed to be leading people around or what. But he's this bland baby face. He's been given opportunities aplenty, I think, in New Japan, but he's not bad in the ring, though. He's just, I don't know. I don't know if he needs like a Naito-style heel turn, something abrupt, but at this point he would almost get lost in the shuffle with that, with enough heel factions as there are in New Japan. And unfortunately for Yoshihashi, he's going to be remembered in some circles for that unfortunate slip he did trying to do a run-in last year where he busted himself open and given himself a concussion. He's trying to do a run-in. He survived the entire G1 tournament and he got taken out of action because you fell down. So Goto wins his tryout match. Let's see what kind of rating they got for us. Well, how about that? Shoten Kai for the win with Goto over Yoshihashi. Trying to figure out with this whole microphone thing. Best way to get it to work. It still shows things like showing up in that little meter box. You'd want to have the mic muted. Maybe it's not really muted. I don't know. Try this again. One thing, if I watch all of these matches all the way through, it's going to get monotonous here pretty quickly. So we'll go ahead and, if it'll let me, yeah. Whoa! That was trippy. First time I tried skipping a match in the middle of a match, and the hitting the fast forward button or something. Cedric Alexander gets credit with this title defense. So 83%, not bad. That 100% to start things off with had some wiggle room. This match, I easily could have put this in the semi-final spot, Ambrose and Omega, but instead look at the number 3 spot on the card. So Ambrose is one half of the tag champs, with Neville banged up, letting him have the month off to rest. If Omega wins, I'll probably set up some sort of a tag team championship opportunity. Maybe him and Jericho teaming up. As much as I typically don't like to mix heavyweight champion and heavyweight tag champion and junior heavyweight champion, when you have a limited roster size, you get to start things off in this fire promoter mode. It just makes sense to utilize guys as best you can. Sometimes that means having guys that are going to challenge for a tag team championship that might be a singles champ or vice versa. In theory, you could have an outsider come in and challenge. But if they win the title, that kind of a championship challenge, then trying to get it back, I'm afraid, would be a bit of an effort. In real life with Ambrose, hard to know what to believe and not to believe anymore. For all indications, his contract's up on the other side of WrestleMania 35. You would anticipate him being a nice pickup for AEW if that happens in real life. But it's kind of weird the way WWE announced that he was leaving ahead of time on Twitter. I don't know what that company's doing half the time. WWE is a very strange company. And I don't think that's going to be news to anyone working there to hear somebody say that about them. As long as Vince McMahon's in charge, Vince McMahon's going to do things his way. Even when it makes no sense, or you can't figure out who's a babyface or a heel from week to week. I think at some point Vince forgot the business wasn't about trying to run off people that were trying to get into it. Instead, he's trying to run off the fans now. But to his credit, he's got a major cash deal with Fox Television, bringing a lot of money starting soon. Curious what AEW is going to end up with television-wise. This is a major project. It's going to be on a major network if it's going to happen. And I doubt we would have seen this salary outlay. They didn't feel pretty good about having a broadcast plan in place. Kenny Omega is a special wrestler. 2 of the best matches I've ever seen in person, both involved him. I went out to California to see New Japan out there a few times. The finals of the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship Tournament with Omega against Tomohiro Ishii. Probably the best singles match I've ever seen in person. Fantastic. And in such a small venue, too, with the Long Beach Convention Center. But then seeing Omega team up with Kota Ibushi as the Golden Lovers against Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks. front row for that at the Cow Palace. You can see me opposite the hard camera. I didn't realize where I was going to be seated. And it was cool at first. When the novelty wears off, I actually found it rather distracting to keep seeing myself on camera. But it was really cool being front row for that match because of the storytelling elements that went into it. The nuances involved. I mean, on the flip side, I feel fairly certain that Kota Ibushi was concussed on that miss. I think it was a double dive off the post. And I've covered American football long enough to feel very uncomfortable about making light of concussions. Or feeling okay about entertainment that might involve somebody who's concussed. But who knows for sure it's pro wrestling when it comes to things in the heat of the moment. It was actually Walter Pyramid where I saw that tag match. And then it was the Cow Palace in San Francisco that had the really good Jay White, Juice Robinson match where Josh Barnett flipped out understandably, after the Irish whip that sent Juice Robinson into the railing. There's the one-winged angel. And that'll do it. Omega gets the win. Save here. I've seen these guys wrestle enough. I'm going to try skipping the match. Well, that works. Bring us to the championship match. I already have a 90% average for the card rating, so even if this one doesn't live up to expectations, it should be fine. Alright, that save is there, so. Alright. Go with the main event. Fans that only saw Barry Windham toward the end of his career, they didn't really have an opportunity to appreciate how great he was in his prime. Go back and watch like 1986 Barry Windham against Ric Flair, battle for the belt in Orlando, Florida. That was a show where Ric Flair came out to Easy Lover by Genesis, Phil Collins. I think messing with Ric Flair's music at any point would seem weird. But if you're ever going to do it, that's the song for Flair. But babyface Windham was the perfect opponent for the Rudo, the heel Ric Flair. We look at the early 1990s WCW. Those two War Games matches they had that were so good, 5-star ones. One with Flair not long before he left from the WWF. And then the next year, the Dangerous Alliance won against Sting's team, along with Holly Dangerously and Medusa with a cell phone. Really, really good brawls that still hold up well today. One of the more disappointing elements within the game was the referees, as far as being able to manage them, organize them, etc. Unfortunately, that holds true within Fire Promoter mode. This make-believe ref, I don't even know who he's supposed to be based off of, if anyone, but he counts slow, and I don't know if I switch out from him that I'll be able to get him back again. The business has been good since he's been in there, so I'm sticking with him. But again, this is not a true simulator game. This is not Total Extreme Wrestling. This is a simulator style game, but certainly with things you've got to suspend disbelief for. Oh, that'll do it. Critical. Codebreaker is over. The newcomer out. Jericho retains. All right. 88% card rating. Full house with 10,000 people at $20 a ticket. Should be pretty good for us, even with adding Barry Windham's salary to the ledger. Great success. There's a 6-man tag team. Roman Orton and Kevin Owens. Okay, I've seen this in this game before where it has this odd note for the start of a new month. This month you have a singles tournament scheduled with All Japan. I've seen that sort of thing before, like WWE and CMLL, and then the game very much tries to dissuade you from doing that. So I'm not exactly sure what that means, that little message there. Aside from, I guess I could try a singles tournament with All Japan. Maybe that shows that they're willing to, I don't know. And see, there's AAA. I mean, it's really not fair to them that I put them as hardcore and not lucha. At least the game lets you change that with the companies. I was able to change it to match for the most part, but with Aero Lucha as my US-based lucha company, really need a little bit of variety. So with the hardcore company, it's AAA for Mexico. Or Latin America, as it's put in the game. That fire sound effect's so bad. Oh, Seth Rollins left WWE. Bring in Tyler Black. Gran Guerrero, I haven't even booked you the last couple of months. What are you whining about? All right, I'm going to take a break for now. Give this more of a try here a little later.